everyone, welcome back. And we are playing today Choice of the Dragon, which is a text adventure game. No soundtrack, no pictures whatsoever, just words, words everywhere. So I've played this game like literally 100 times, so it won't be fair if I played it, so I decided that my dad should instead. Anyways, so I'll be reading out the storyline, and he can choose what he wants to do. So, let us begin. A knight charges up the slope at you. His horse pounds at the ground, carrying the heavily armed warrior as if he was a child's doll. The knight sets his lance to attack you. How do you defend yourself, O mighty dragon?
A puff of my fiery breath should be enough for him.
Okay. You let loose an inferno of fire. The knight's horse is cooked nicely, and your stomach lets out a deafening rumble as the smell of roast reaches your nostrils. The knight himself staggers to his feet. His armor managed to keep him alive, but only barely. How do you finish him off, victorious dragon? Do you finish him off, victorious dragon?
He's beneath my concern now.
Very well. You leisurely eat the knight's horse. He slinks away as quietly as he can. His heavy armor makes a stealthy escape impossible. Still, you pay him no mind as he leaves. You know, it's going to get annoying to keep calling you great and mighty dragon. What is your name? Now you can either choose one of these or just say this and choose your own.
I think Silas, because I want to hear you say it a lot.
You're gonna tie my tongue in a knot. I can't even say it. You're in charge of saying that name from now on. Are you sure?
Yep.
Fine. Will you be male or female?
Male.
Duh. As you think about it, the knight's attack was probably inevitable. After all, you did just kidnap the princess right out of her tower. Although, isn't it a little sexist to always kidnap princesses?
No, it's traditional to kidnap princesses.
Yeah, who cares? And I guess it's tradition that only boys get to be knights? Is that what you're gonna say next? I guess you're right. Anyway, as you ripped off the roof of her tower, the light glistened off your... would you like to specify the color of your hide? I wasn't sure which color to put in that description.
Iridescent.
Iridescent. Blah. Isn't iridescent like kind of see-through? I always get confused.
It's kind of shiny, isn't it?
Shiny. Wonderful choice. So the light glistened off your iridescent hide as you snatched the princess out of her tower. While we're on the subject, let's settle for a few other details. How many limbs will you have, not counting your wings or tail?
8.
Of course, you're a giant spider!
Yeah. Spider dragon.
I hate spiders. I'm never going to forgive you for making all these choices in this game. Anyways, is the top of your head rigid or smooth?
Nice and smooth.
Smooth. Like your head was when you were bald.
Mm-hmm.
I see. And your wings, feathery, leathery, or scaly?
Leathery.
As you kidnapped the princess, you beat your leathery, iridescent wings and flew off into the night as you clutched tightly to your smooth scalp to avoid plummeting to her doom. What are you planning on doing with the princess anyway?
Ransom payments.
Ransom payments. La, la, la. Indeed, within a month, a large chest of gold comes to pay for the princess's release. What do you do then?
Well, I wouldn't get many ransoms if I kept eating the princesses after I got paid, so I better carry out the bargain.
Oh, so do you want to see your stats?
Sure.
Let me see. Okay, you have 59 disdain and 41% vigilance, 50% infamy, 40% cunning, and 60% honor, 45% brutality, and 55% finesse. You have 6,500 gold coins, and you are uninjured. Also, what are the achievements for this anyway? Let's see. Stop your own heart, which is very sad and very disappointing. We might play through this a few different times to get different endings. Defeat an evil wizard, find a mate, anger the gods. Duh! Defeat a party of heroes, finish the game with at least 20,000 gold pieces, finish the game with at least 80% infamy, finish the game with at least 80% vigilance. Ugh, I'm going to be talking a lot through this, I can tell. Ugh. Finish the game with at least 80% disdain. I'm not bothering to say the names of the achievements because that's too much breath. Finish the game with at least 80% honor. Finish the game with at least 80% cunning. Finish the game with at least 80% finesse. Finish the game with at least 80% brutality. Finish the game without wounds. Blah! Of course, no sooner have you received a payment than you let the princess go. Also, those stats, they will have a difference on what choices you make. Because if you try to do a choice, it won't actually tell you what you need for those choices, but if you think it needs cunning and you have like no cunning, then you'll obviously fail.
Okay.
Anyways, this would be a good time to talk a little more about your personality, and these will raise your stats, by the way. All dragons can be described in terms of a handful of characteristics, each in opposed pairs: brutality and finesse, cunning and honor, disdain and vigilance. Are you more notable for your brutality or for your finesse?
Finesse.
Do you have more cunning or honor?
Honor.
Definitely. Do you disdain threats and insults that are beneath you, or are you vigilant against any slight or transgression?
Disdain.
Yeah, because you let that
I'm a
night
dragon.
wander away. Yeah. Now we're going to view some flashbacks to your days as a wormling, which I'm pretty sure is like a baby dragon. Very strange word, though. Wormling. Like those giant worms from The Visitor. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. That little alien worm from The Visitor. As a young hatchling, you lived with your mother in a cave high up on a mountain. Your mother had a vast hoard of treasure and a varied hunting range. Some of your siblings chose to spend much of their time reading the rare codices and scrolls your mother had collected. Other siblings spent their time hunting dangerous game and brawling with each other. Which pursuit did you prefer?
Hunting.
You developed your muscles as you glorified in combat and to kill at the end of the hunt. Your brawls with your siblings also taught you the basics of honor. Brutality and honor increase. As you reached maturity, you began to threaten your mother's dominance over her territory. Before you could possibly have bested her in a direct confrontation, she threw you out of her lair and drove you from the lands in which you grew up, leaving you to fend for yourself without any resources beyond your claws, wings, and teeth. Did you seek revenge on her by turning some of the humans in her lands against her, or did you consider petty revenge beneath you?
Revenge is beneath my dignity.
You guys can't tell, but I'm like doing hand motions with my hands. I don't know why I always do that. Just always do that when I'm reading this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Disdain for petty matters is essential for a dragon, as it avoids the pointless feuds that weaken you and allow your enemies to achieve great goals. Manipulating pheasants is also not the most honorable of activities for a mighty dragon as yourself. Your wise choice increases disdain and honor. After several days of flight, you come across a tiny halfling traveling through the desert. Even from afar, your keen eyes detected the glint of gold and the sparkle of magic. This halfling has some sort of magic golden shield strapped to his tiny back. You knew immediately that this treasure must be yours! The halfling was far from civilization and would almost certainly die soon of his thirst of starvation. For the moment he seemed to be protected by the power of the shield. Did you kill him on the spot, ignoring his magical protections? Or did you hover nearby and wait for the halfling to die, knowing that you might lose the treasure?
I wait for him to die.
What are your stats anyway? I just want to look. You're very honorable, Mr. Dragon. Very full of finesse and very disdainful. You still have normal infamy, though. There's no reason you have to do all the dirty work yourself. A few hours later, the halfling stumbled, crawled for a while, and finally stopped. You easily plucked the treasure off his body, saving yourself quite a bit of work. Disdain and finesse increase. Now watch this. This is fun. One of your elder clutchmates is an overbearing brute named Axelman. I used to be able to say that name so well, and now I can't. Axelmius. Axelmius loved to torment the others, and he was always seeking to seize what did not belong to him. Oh gosh, this is going to be so hard. Sisypheus, he said with a menacing grin, give me that golden shield, or I will beat you within an inch of your life.
Well, he's too big and dumb to catch me anyway. I'll just leave. I'll evade him and hide the shield.
Cunning and finesse increase. Unfortunately, Axomius is your elder. At his age... Don't worry, this always happens, you fool!
Okay.
No matter what you do. At this age, he has the advantage in maneuverability. He caught up to you quickly, pinning you to the ground and prying the shield out of your claws. Then he crushed your shield in his jaws, wasting the magical energies imbued. That sounds weird. Imbued within it, and spat it out at your feet. He laughed with a great roar as he flew away. You have the following stats: 22 brutality, 78% finesse, 21% cunning, and 79% honor, 91% disdain, 9% villages, 50% infamy, and 6,500 gold coins. Begin the adventure. That was just an intro. And it already took us like 12 minutes. Hooray! Blah, blah, blah. You spend several weeks winging your way across the land. Life as a traveling dragon has much to recommend it. The freedom of the air, the thrill of the hunt, and the plentiful sightseeing opportunities. On one particular night, sleeping peacefully under the stars, you awake to find yourself under attack. A gigantic elder dragon towers before you, whipping you with hard with its tail. It must be at least 4 times your size. Whelp, how dare you sleep on my lands?
I will play nice.
The elder dragon treats you with enviable disdain, soundly beats you out of its territory. Find your own lair, it chortles. Despite the advantages, it seems that homelessness has some rather severe downsides. After all, you have nowhere to store your treasure hoard. Oh yeah, all those coins you have. Now that I think about, coins aren't exactly that much. A few days later, as you fly along, you see a large hill rising up from the land around it. Forests cover the lower slopes of the hill, giving way to grassy fields, and then a rocky crag at the top of the hill. A large mouth opens into the promontory. While you would have to check it out more carefully to be certain, you believe that the hill contains a fairly extensive cave complex. Plenty of game runs through the forest, with herds of sheep and even cattle in some of the valleys a short flight away. Shush! Anyways, looking beyond the intermittent environs, several human villages and towns are well within a day's flight, offering the promise of easy pillaging to come, but none are close enough to make harassment and annoyance likely. In short, it appears to be a perfect lair. As you fly down to claim your new lair, you spot a group of small, mostly bald, orange-skinned humanoids outside the cave. They look up and point at you in terror and alarm. Some of them flee into the cave, while others bravely shake crude, ineffectual spears at you. Don't eat me, jabbers one of the goblins. Eat grubbish, he's got meat on him. The goblin who spoke pushes forward one of the other goblins with the butt of his spear. The other goblin, presumably Grubish, drops his spear and as he shakes in front of you. How cute. What do you do?
Scare them off.
Blah. A mighty roar and a puff of smoke and fire are more than sufficient to scatter them. Almost no exertion, and they are gone. What's more, as you follow them into the cave, you find that they are quickly proffering food before you. It could be good to have respectful minions. Disdain and finesse increase. What's your disdain at now? You're very disdainful. I bet if you hear something stomping behind you, you won't pay attention to it, and then it'll burn you to a crisp. Not that that happens in this game. I wish it did, though. The cave complex within the hill is everything you hoped for. It's defensible, spacious enough for a good horde, and full of those greasy little goblins who quickly acknowledge you as their eternal sovereign and overlord. They give you the best of their treasure and the finest of their foods. Well, almost the finest. They burn the very best of their foods on a crude altar to their primitive goblin god. How do you react to that?
This is a tough one.
Do whatever you wish. I don't care.
They're just goblins. It doesn't matter what they do as long as they're loyal to me.
You're very disdainful. What's your disdain now? I'm gonna be checking every single part of this to look at your disdain. You're very disdainful. The offerings are inconsequential, and you can ignore them easily. By tolerating their religion, you also secure the unswerving loyalty of the goblin shaman. Good job. Disdain increases. Goblins obey your every command, and sometimes even anticipating your desires. They may be stupid, crude, and savage minions, but at least they're your stupid, crude, and savage minions. Life is good. A few days later, you hear the sound of squabbling from one of the other chambers. You poke your snout in and see that a rudimentary pit had been arranged, and some of the lowest status goblins are being made to battle for the amusement of the chieftain, now your lieutenant. The fighting is savage, and it's clear that the losers will die.
What they do is beneath me.
Just
serve me.
Serve me. Your curiosity satisfied, you return to your main chamber and settle in. You now simply tune out the sounds of fighting from the goblin quarters. It is nothing worthy of your attention. Disdain increases. Next chapter. You look down from your lair at the lands beyond your mountain. Those green lands are full of humans, and humans have large reserves of livestock and rich treasure. Shouldn't that food and wealth be yours instead?
Nothing enlivens up a lair like cringing humans carrying tribute.
How true, how true. Let's be clear about why you plan on conquering humans. What's most important to you? And cold. It's really cold down here in the basement. I'm wearing short sleeves.
I kind of like these goblins. I think humans should be my terrified subjects too.
Goblins are nice, but it's your right to have a better cut of minions. Cringing human slaves already really brighten up the old lair. You push off from your rocky spire and glide outwards in the wind. You smell the faint scent of human cooking fires. Where to start?
I think we'll start with the nearby village.
Why the nearest village? Bob.
Start small, see if they have defenses.
Good thinking. Clever planning like this will be useful later on when you face more worthy opponents. Speaking of which, how high is your cunning? Horribly low. I'm going to take all those opportunities. You soar above the local village. From here you can see fields of crops, shepherds with their flocks, and a few wagons filled with vegetables. It's fairly small though. In the center of the village you can see a hanging banner displaying the livery of the Queen. What do you do to the village?
I demand their surrender.
You land in front of the largest groups of humans and say, "Grovel before me, humans, or be devoured!" They grovel. Oh, how they grovel! There's no one here who would even think of challenging you, so they squirm on the ground and sing your praises. Ha ha! They're planning to betray you, of course, but for now they're terrified and docile.
Docile.
Docile. My tongue is going to be so twisted after saying all this. The humans offer you the meager tribute that their village can muster up. It's not much, but every gold coin counts. With a belly full of their sheep, you take to the air again. Finesse increases, infamy decreases. What's next? Also, if you guys want me to read out the options next time we play this, go ahead and tell me. Because I don't want to. I need to save my breath.
Next step, the mountain pass.
Mountain pass. You know, this is a touch screen. I'm just going to tap it. Control trait? What? Interesting choice. I need to go get something to eat before I starve to death. Okay, I think I'm gonna be eating, so I think my dad should take over from here. Get over here, get off the other computer. Come on. He's usually very stubborn with that.
Oh, sorry,
Oh, you rolled up. Yeah, oh no.
You made me move. Okay.
You need to talk.
The wizard Calyx, hey, how do you feel about this attack? Well, I'm furious. No time like the present. You even know where the high tower of wizardry is, although they haven't bothered you before. What's your next step? Oh, go there and kill him. No mercy for one who would oppose you. You are a thunderbolt and you hit the tower from the outside, slamming against it from the air with all of your might. You feel spell-strengthened stones creak and tumble beneath your weight. The top of the tower breaks loose and falls to the ground, and you hear the sound of screams. Calyx, you roar. You stick your snout into the top of the tower and breathe flame straight down on the broken structure. Calyx, a true sweep of your tail takes out the stables, and you pounce on the first people to flee the structure. The wizard doesn't introduce himself when he attacks. He simply hits you with a magical spell from behind. Coward, you growl with a magical, and only a magical glove of water saves him from being flash-flied. Where are your conjured monsters now? He looks a little surprised at that. Oh no. This isn't good. You pause in your salt. What? Fire dances around your nostrils. What conjured monsters? I can't do that. Uh-oh. You can't. No, I transform and transfigure things. I've never learned conjuring. Whoops. All right then. So did you send a monster to attack me? No. You glower. It said you data told me you'd slain 3 other dragons and I would be your latest victim. You believed a monster? Calyx looks around at the wreckage and death. He appears somewhat sick. Silence! If not you, who? Oh! I think an old enemy of mine is trying to kill you or use you as a murder weapon to assassinate me. She calls herself Magister Vermius. Although I don't know her real name, she's definitely a conjurer and she can't stand me. Has she killed dragons before? I don't know for sure, but her staff is supposed to be made from a dragon bone, so the answer might be yes. She lives in the mountains far to the south and she wants this country as her own. Luckily, she's never been able to raise an army since no one is stupid enough to follow her. She's crazy and very dangerous. You depart without another word, leaving the dying wizard and burning tower behind. A different conjured monster is waiting for you when you arrive at your lair. Mighty Cecilus, it mocks in a wheedling voice, did you feel oh so smart when you attacked an innocent wizard just now? My true master grows more powerful while you weaken his enemies. Thank you for you have been an awfully good little servant, and you'll never know who my master actually is. Come to the peak of Crooked Mountain tomorrow at midnight, where you'll learn what is required of you. Should you wish to live.
See, this is why it was important when you told Axelmius to kill Vermius.
But he didn't. It doesn't seem as smart as the last one. Maybe you can learn something. Who is your master? Why, I am summoned by the queen of this country you claim to. You cut it off mid-sentence by biting off its frog-like legs. It tastes utterly revolting. As you bite into it, the beast's eyes bug out of their sockets. Vermius said you couldn't hurt me, it croaks. Vermius lied, you reply, destroying the monster. You settle back down on your horde in annoyance.
Hey!
So Vermius wants to face you on the peak of the Crooked Mountain. You know where that is. The question is why. So she can ambush me and kill me. You know that she uses lies to manipulate her foes. This seems like a classic trap. Do you want to show up atop the mountain at the appointed time? Absolutely, and I'll take Calyx with me. Having a wizard backup makes some sense. You think he'd be willing to come? Self-interest. Vermius tried to kill both of us. He should work with me to eliminate the threat.
You clicked the wrong thing.
Sensible appeal. Finesse increases. Calax listens to your reasoning and agrees to go with you to fight Vermeus. You fly off to Crooked Mountain with Calax clinging to your back. As you approach, you see Vermeus levitating on top of the peak. She smiles as you approach, holding up her dragonbone staff in a defensive posture and muttering a spell. There are 2 pentagrams carved on the stone of the mountaintop. They begin to glow, and reddish smoke rises up from the center of each. If you don't kill her before she finishes the summoning, it might be a little dicey for you. You turn into a dive to begin your attack run. As you shoot towards her, Calax shouts above the rushing wind. Wait, Cethalus, do not attack yet. What do you do? Well, I brought a wizard, I might as well listen to him. You veer away from Vermeus as Calax explains. There is no human life here. I reached out to change your blood to water, but I only sensed energy and illusion. Blast away the pentacles and pay no attention to the image of Vermeus. You unleash a blast of flame on each pentacle, softening the rock itself. The apparition of Vermeus continues muttering her spells, but without the summoning circles, nothing happens. Calax nods his head sagely. I can trace the magic from the summoning circle back to its source. Vermeus is some 50 miles from here, if I remember my geography. That is just about right for her to be casting from her tower. 50 miles is an easy flight for you, so you turn to the west, wings beating a slow and steady pace as you race across the clouds. You can feel Calax adjusting his grip, desperate not to fall off. Hold on, hold tight, mage, you rumble. This ends today. You fly to Vermeus's tower. The tower is heavy granite structure with large oak doors at the base. 5 flames glow at the top of the tower. Calax shouts as you approach. I would stay away from the top of the tower, Cethalus. I would wager that Vermeus has prepared a summoning trap with those flames. If you land there, it will likely conjure a demon behind us. How do you plan to handle this? I'll tell him to weaken the tower so I can knock it down. Calax smiles. With pleasure. As a transmuter, weakening stone, even magically reinforced stone, is trivial. He casts a spell and the tower glows as he weakens the mortar holding it together. You slam into the tower with a resounding boom. Your claws scrabble at the stone, but even with the benefit of Calax's spells, you can't quite dig in. Despite your best efforts, the tower resists your assault. Well, what's this wizard good for? Vermeus alone would be no match for an angry dragon, but dozens of summoned demons swarm to your aid. The battle is epic. Over the next several hours, you face demons of every variety. Winged fiends claw at your hide. The sky rains down tiny parasitic creatures who drain your strength. Tentacle larvae wrap themselves around your throat. At the end, Vermeus calls the true name of the demonic mist. Gleal, she sings to the walls that separate this world from the next. Time has come to finish this. Gleal appears in a hideous fog that insinuates itself into your nostrils. All goes dark. Unfortunately for Vermeus, Gleal is flammable. You cough once, that's all it takes. The air around you ignites.
We just got an achievement. Defeated Master Vermeus.
Yay.
Because of how big I made the recording thing, you couldn't see all of it, but we could show you when we're done.
The air around you ignites. The conflagration pierces Vermeus's magical defenses. Clutching her chest in searing pain, she releases the dragonbone staff. In one motion, you bite the staff in 2 and eviscerate her with your claws. The last of the demonic minions flee in terror. You have won this battle. What's more, with Vermeus dead, there's nothing to prevent you from plundering her tower. You gain much fine loot. Infamy increases.
Wait! What happened to Calax?
It doesn't say.
Probably died.
Achievements.
Wait,
Champion.
Defeated Master Vermeus.
Oops.
Don't click restart. No. Cancel.
Yes, yes.
Just.
Calm
Yeah.
down. Many years have passed since you seized control of this kingdom. It's becoming harder and harder to resist your kind's urge to hibernate. Dragons typically hibernate for at least 10 years, perhaps longer. Some older dragons hibernate for generations. How are you going to leave your horde defended while you rest?
Check your stats.
A trap? Elite goblin guards? No.
Your infamy is low, so I don't think no one would dare steal from me would work. Read it!
Unfortunately, you're not sufficiently cunning to outthink all of the thieves who will come in the years to come. Sure, some of them will die in your traps, but a few will make it past. They will take some of your best treasure. Too bad. Not my dragon statue! As hibernation overtakes you, you begin to think back on what you've accomplished and dream of what lies ahead. Glory, treasure, loss, revenge, victory. Soon you will spread your mighty wings, and the shadow of your majesty will block the sun itself. The finest baubles will line the walls of your palaces. The greatest heroes will fall before your razor-sharp teeth. Soon the whole world will whisper your name in fear and reverence. Syphilis. But for now you rest and wait.
We just got another achievement for being so honorable.
Yes.
Just barely, because we got for 80% honor, and we're like right on 80% honor. You were really close to getting the finesse one, too.
And the gold. Blasphemy 1.
That's because you attacked the temple on accident.
Mm-hmm.
If you got 3 of those, no! Don't spoil it.
Yeah, I should have encouraged them to worship me, too. And kept the goblins from worshiping their gods, too.
Yeah, then something cool would happen.
The gods would have got mad.
Yeah, then something cool happens.
Okay, we're finished.
Okay, hold on. Eat, drink. Shish. Well, guys, I think that's the end of this video. We'll probably be doing more videos of this, so we can get the other achievements: flawless, brute, sophisticate, matcha, vaya, bala, transition. I can't say any of this anymore. Ruler, history's greatest monster, tycoon, villain, vassal, lover, and dragon slayer. But for now, we've been doing this for over an hour. This game takes so long. Well, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys liked it. If you want more of this, just give the video a like and be sure to subscribe. And until next time, may the chickens watch over you.